Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this video, I wanted to have a serious conversation. Autism seems to bring out the best in people. It's kind of one of the positive sides of autism, and specifically low-functioning autism like Abigail has. You know, the challenges that she has and that we have as a family. I've seen firsthand some pretty incredible people be created from the nurture of having the impact of a person with autism in their life, specifically the siblings of children with autism. I'd really like to do a video series on talking to different siblings of children with autism, and I thought no better place to start than right here with Isaiah, my son, and Abigail's brother. Do you remember when your sister was diagnosed with autism?
So I was about 6 years old when she was diagnosed and everything. So I couldn't really pick up on the idea of it, I guess. You know,
the impact of what it means.
Exactly. And she was only 2 as well. So you don't see, you know, when you see an 11-year-old with autism, with severe autism like Abby has, you know, you can obviously tell that she's different from a typical 11-year-old.
Right.
But when you're a 2-year-old, you don't see the differences as much, especially when you're my age, you know. So I don't really remember noticing it. So
for you, I mean, autism has been your whole life, you know, for the last 10 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
That autism has been a big part of your life. So along those lines, what are some of the challenges of having a sibling with autism like Abigail?
Well, one of the hard things that I have to experience a lot is, I see other kids and stuff, and I see how a brother interacts with a sister and a typical family and stuff like that, and it kind of breaks my heart because I'll never have some of those same experiences.
Do we need a hug already?
I don't know.
It's really early into this interview.
It's only the second question. This is rough.
Okay. So to lighten it up a little bit, what are some of the benefits of having a sibling with autism?
Well, I think it absolutely makes me a better person. Having a sibling with autism makes you a lot more caring and kind to other people.
And I think it's made you a better person too. I think it's made our whole family better people. Our desire to reach out and want to help people. You go to Abigail's school and volunteer a lot. You go to SFA and you've spent a lot of time, when you could be basking in the sun or just hanging out, drinking cold drinks under the tent. You're out there hustling and getting water for other people and taking kids out into the surf, volunteering as a surfer. And I feel like it's made you more compassionate towards others. I think it has a big impact on that. So it's something I'm very proud of, that that you're able to go out there and connect with people like you do.
Do we need a hug already?
No, it's only the third question. Do you ever resent having a sister with autism? Do you ever resent autism?
I don't think anything. You guys have done a really good job of making sure that I don't get pushed aside. I don't get put on the back burner for anything. So I've never felt less important, I guess, or less cared about. But like with any sister, I get annoyed with her, and because of autism, I think it can be a little bit more escalated. Because it's really hard to explain to a teacher that your sister ate your homework. And so there's, it's just different things that you have to deal with.
I think that's a commendable way to approach it. A lot of very typical things that you would have to deal with anyway, regardless of autism. Just some things are escalated, There's some stuff that you've been privy to, developmental stuff with a young lady that you have to see, stuff that you wouldn't normally have to experience with a typical sister, because Abigail's not a private person. And so, you definitely had your fair share of TMI and your fair share of Abigail put some clothes on and things like that. But
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head there. It's pretty much normal stuff, just times 10. A little known fact, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the word autism has somewhat replaced the R word in schools, and as a joke, like, what are you, autistic is the new buzzword, right? It's a new thing, and I think pretty much with your generation it became a thing as autism became more and more prevalent, more and more in the news. How do you deal with that? Because I know now you don't have to deal with any bullying with your sister, and mainly because she's not in an environment where bullying is an issue. How do you deal with just the ugliness towards autism, from your peers?
Well, like you said, it's with the whole generation or with my generation and the memes and stuff like that. Oh, he has autism and all this stuff.
So it's not memes.
It's not memes.
It's actually memes.
MEMES.
Memes. All right.
Memes. There you go. A lot of people make those jokes, and I've heard it a lot. So I kind of calmly remind them that that's not really funny. It's not. Sure, people laugh, but when you really get down to, if you think about what it really means, it's not funny.
Right. It's really not funny. But do you tell them that you have a sister with autism?
Absolutely. I don't. I'm not ashamed of that.
Right.
You guys have embarrassed me enough that I don't get ashamed of anything.
But do you make it a point to say, hey, look, don't do that, because
I wag my finger quite a bit.
I figured you did. But you tell them, don't, hey, I have a sister with autism. Is that part of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're going to stop.
Right.
But at least I'm saying something.
What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? What are your aspirations for life?
An astronaut.
That's a good goal, son.
Or princess. Either one will work.
I support you either way.
Thank you. No, I want to be. I'm kind of on the fence. I either want to be a autism-related therapist, whether it's ABA or whatever I want to do there, or I would like to become a autism researcher, working as a doctor and everything. And
medical field?
Medical field,
okay.
Yes. Just medical field, and specifically related to autism.
Okay. It's, my follow-up question was, does your sister having autism have an impact on your... Of course it does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously that's, one of the reasons why you saw this as a field to go into. At that point, you will have graduated college, and you're out in the world, and you don't want to break from it. Like, you don't want to.
No, like we said before, I have a really good bond with my sister, and she may not be fully independent in the future, and so
when you move out, you're taking her with you.
That's not what I said.
Okay.
So I'm always gonna...
we can talk about it later.
Yeah.
You're open to the weekends. How about weekends?
Off record, we'll talk about it so that it's not official. So she's always going to need someone around, I feel like. So
sure.
Having that background, and it's definitely going to make me, more qualified in the job world.
Maybe more driven.
There you go.
To do a good job, knowing that these kind of things help out, the next generation of Isaiahs, that have, the next generation of Abigails.
And I've gotten to see that real world example, and that, especially, how it affected me. So it'll definitely drive me to work harder in that field, I think.
What's the worst thing about autism? And it's a tough question to ask, you guys, and bear with me, because I don't want to paint autism as a negative thing, because for many it's not. For some it is, and then there's those of us that are in that middle ground, between the good and the bad. So I don't want to paint it as a negative thing, but there are goods and bads to everything. What is the worst thing about autism, coming from your point of view?
I think it's never having the same connection that you do with everyone else. Having, Abigail having autism means that she's never going to be able to communicate with me and talk to me and, just interact with me the way I can with every other, typical person. She spent years not talking.
Right.
And I've lost all these experiences and things from autism. And, like you said, there's goods and bads, so.
Right, totally. One of my final questions here, and this is always an interesting question because there really is no right or wrong answer because it totally depends on your point of view on things. If you could take away her autism, and I don't mean from the beginning, I don't mean starting back over again, and she was born without it. I mean, if a genie came to you and said, tomorrow morning your sister will wake up without autism, is that something that you would want? Would you take her autism away?
For me, absolutely not. Because I know Abigail. Abigail is who she is because of autism. She's happy and she's carefree and she does what she wants. And, it's not always a good thing when she does what she wants, but she does what she wants. And she is who she is because of autism. And if I'm being selfish here, no, I would absolutely not take her autism away. For her, in a heartbeat. Because sorry.
It's okay.
I'm not an emotional person. I don't know how to cry. For her, I would absolutely take it away. Autism in a lot of ways makes her life harder. She can't always communicate with us. She can't just, she's treated differently. She's just, she's not a typical person, so her life is harder. And so I would absolutely take it away for her.
Last question. What advice would you give to other siblings? You're a veteran. You've been doing this for 10 years now. You're well experienced. You're like a third caregiver for your sister, as well as the fun brother. The guy that picks on her and bullies her a little bit. You've been doing this for a while, and there are siblings who are just now finding out that their brother or sister has autism. What advice would you give them? What are a few words of wisdom from the experience of your 10 years?
First and foremost, just be compassionate, be kind, realize that it's going to be harder in a lot of ways, but there are always going to be good times. And just fight for them because they can't always do it for themselves.
I think that's solid advice.
That's from Brothering Autism.
Some pretty amazing people have come from families and from being around children with autism. You see it in therapists and teachers and parents and siblings and cousins, and it really makes the world a more compassionate place. I feel like it does. I'm proud of my son. I'm proud of the young man that he's becoming, and I think it would be selling him short to say that who he is doesn't have a lot to do with the challenges that he has faced. There's a lot of you out there. There's a lot of siblings, a lot of caretakers, a lot of family members of children with autism, and one day you guys are going to run the world, and you're going to make it a better place. So thank you for that. I really don't have a question of the day today, but what I would like to hear from you, down in the comments, put someone's first name. Let me know someone that you think is a champion, someone that's just truly a rock star, caregiver, parent, sibling, someone that's really stepped up and autism has changed their lives for the better. Let me know. I'd love to see those shout outs. But thanks as always for watching. We appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, that's ridiculous. Just do it already. You're watching the videos without subscribing? What a waste.
We're pretty much the #1 channel on YouTube right now, so you might as well.
That is an absolute lie.
Edit what you just said out. He didn't say that.
Hit that like button if you like this video, you want to see more like it. That's a lot of likes in the same sentence. We'll see you guys next time. pretty amazing. Shut up.
She put like a picture of like a normal me not crying over that.
If it makes you feeling better, you're not an ugly crier. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Your mom's an ugly crier.
Don't let her see the
No,
video.
I'm gonna edit that part out. She's a beautiful crier. So.